Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay, and today's Wednesday. It's going to be a fabulous Wednesday. We have a great show planned for you, and I am so excited to get started. So the next step here is to introduce Nick. Yeah.
I like how we're talking in steps right now. We're talking in that was good, Lindsay.
You got to switch it up.
There we go, right?
I can't say the same thing every day because that's just boring.
An integrator that does not want to say the same thing every day. That has to be a woman thing. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Totally kidding. Totally kidding.
Wow.
So good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. We have an amazing couple in the house. This week of just couples has been, I've learned so much.
I know. I have my notebook ready.
You have your notebook ready.
With
I would have
my pen open. Yes, I'm ready for notes.
So
because
some couples show up and they're ready to talk. This couple comes in and they got notes. They got so many notes. So it's going to be great.
Like a note card. They have pages.
Pages
which
of notes.
Which is fantastic because I just need a copy of them.
Right.
So let's introduce you to this amazing couple. I'm so excited. This is actually my first time meeting them. I've seen them. I know who they are, but I'm so excited to actually learn about their stories. So please welcome Ricardo and Claudia Gloria.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and taking time out of your day. We are just so thrilled to, and your topics, I read them and I got chills. So I'm like, let's get started.
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Hopping up and down.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to attempt a little split screen action real quick. There we go. We got everyone on here. Hey, and I got it right.
I'm so proud of you.
I totally guessed that. That was good. That's the win of the day.
Win of your day.
There we go, right? So welcome, y'all.
Well, thank you. First, I want to say thank you, Nick. Thank you, Lindsay, for having us. And obviously, we want to thank God for just the breath in our lungs today. You know,
Yes.
We were talking on the way over here and prayed on the way over here. Just because we're grateful, we're excited to be here with you guys.
Yes.
We're excited to have y'all. I mean, so here we go, audience. That even before we got started, I need to get a universal mic with a camera so people can see the pre-roll beforehand. Yeah, just hanging because the conversations we were having. I'm like, I gotta write that down. I'm gonna forget this.
Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't. That's what I mean. I gotta write it down. But we have a couple topics today to talk about, don't we?
Yes.
And let's start with the first one. What has worked for y'all as far as having a joyful marriage?
Well, that's a big question.
I think it's interesting how you described your marriage. It's not just a marriage, it's a joy-filled marriage, joy-filled marriage.
Yes.
That's very powerful.
Yes.
So it's and I was telling this Nick before we started, Lindsay, that we've been married for 23 years. Praise the Lord, and it's been an amazing 23 years. Mm-hmm. We talk about this and we say we feel like we just got married a couple of years ago until we see our 22-year-old. Then we go, oh, I guess we've been married a little longer than that.
A little longer than that. That's good.
And the reason I say this is because we've been doing so many things over the last 23 years that have helped us live joyfully, live happy. We just hadn't put words to it or names to what we've been doing. Lately, in the last 5, 6, 7 years since we started coming to Elevate Church, that's when we started putting terms to our behaviors and our lifestyle. When whatever we were doing, we're like, oh, that's what you call it. That's what it is. And so that's why now we can actually call it a joyful marriage because it's being full of joy. So
That's good.
Yes. And for me, having a joyful marriage, it's a daily decision. I make the decision every morning. As soon as I wake up, I decide that I'm going to have a joyful day and that I'm going to love my husband. I'm going to honor him. I'm going to respect him. I'm going to serve him. So when I think like that, it helps my day to be joyful.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So now, 23 years, the first 13 years, we were married without Jesus in the mix.
So you mentioned that before we got on camera. So I'm glad you're bringing this up because this is something that needs to be heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So check this out. I was born out of, in Mexico with my parents being pastors, so I grew up in the ministry, right? When I grew up, I turned 15. I decided I'm going to go on my own and work. And, I started working in construction.
Okay.
And then years later, I met Claudia and we got married. But I stepped away from the Lord, from Jesus, to do my own thing for a while. But check this out, guys. One thing, God never left me. The other thing is, the reason I say we were without Jesus in the mix the first 13 years is because we weren't going to church. We weren't doing Christ at the center type of thing. And we still had a joyful marriage. Why do I bring that up, Nick? Because if you do the things, like Claudia said, the daily decisions to honor your wife, to do your part, to be better every day, you're going to reap the benefits of the principle. Because those are principles. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
But check this out. But when we brought Jesus in the mix, then you start reaping the blessings.
Amen.
See?
So there's benefits and there's blessings.
Yeah,
Principles,
because
principles and blessings.
So check this out. There is a lot of people out there that say, well, I don't have Jesus and I do good. Yeah, because you've been doing the principles of life. Therefore, you are going to get the benefits. It's a rule, right? That's what happens when you do it. But when you bring Jesus into the mix, everything elevates and everything goes to the next level. So we were already doing great, but when we brought Jesus into the mix, it just exploded, and that's what happened.
I know someone wrote that down. Because I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna have to watch this episode again just up to this one point already and write that down. Okay, so principles. I mean, let's talk about that. What are other principles that you guys have implemented into your marriage?
Claudia mentioned a couple, I believe, but transparency since day one. I grew up in Mexico, and my parents, the only thing they had to give me, guys, was principles and a good example. They didn't have money. There was no, we're going to inherit you this or whatever. And it's not like they pushed it down my throat every day. They just lived it, So to me, growing up, learning all those little things without knowing I was learning them, when I went to get married and I started applying those things, and because somewhere down in my heart, I knew that's what you do. That's how you behave. That's how you treat women. Like I said, we go back to nobody teaching me this except me seeing it, right, from my parents.
That just shows how powerful living out how you want your kids to be is. That they're going to learn that more than if you're trying to teach them a lesson or you're trying to teach them something that you're not walking yourself. It's not going to get stuck.
100%. And Claudia can talk a little bit about this too. But what we verbalized finally a few years ago is my parents, once again, they weren't like wealthy or had a lot of money or whatever, but everything they did, they didn't really reap the benefits or the blessings because they were just 100% zeroed in on serving the Lord. But us, their next generation, are reaping all the blessings and all the benefits. So what happens, it's true, Nick, what your parents do trickles down to you and your kids. And when we found that out, we figured that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that everything we do is not only for us, but for our generations. Because, we got the choice to make, like Claudia said, every day, and we're living it. My parents did it, and we're the beneficiaries of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not just you, but your kids and your grandkids, and all of that is gonna just because your parents set the example.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what we think. Everything we say and everything we do, it's a ripple effect. So it's going to reflect in our kids. That's why we always try. It's not that we are perfect or anything, but we try to do the things that we say we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you were talking about principles.
Yup.
Transparency, like I said. Since day one, it was like with us, we talk now. I mean, modern day, 23 years later, anything from social media passwords to your phone having a password to this is mine, that's yours type of thing. That doesn't go around us. Everything is open. We both know everything, all the passwords for everybody, for anything in the house as well with the boys, you know. There's no, this is mine, my secret type of thing. Everything is transparent and it's worked for us 100%.
But what that does is that puts you on the same team, right?
Yes.
It's not a oh, this is mine and that's yours thing, because right as soon as you've created that separation on your phone, on your computer, right as soon as you start having those little secret boxes, you start separating the team.
Yes.
Right? So by you having that transparency, you solidified you two as teammates. And because of the principles, your now kids have come in and they're learning that example. So when they start dating or when they eventually get married, hey, these are the expectations. This is the transparency. This is the lifestyle. This is the way I want my marriage to go, because this is the example that I have from my parents. And it's funny because I remember you and I were having a conversation, and it was right in front of the treehouse. Mm-hmm. And you talked about, actually, we were walking to the treehouse. We were walking down the hallway, and you were talking about how there came a point in time where you just decided not to spank your kids anymore. Mm-hmm. And now it became a lot more of a discussion. But you didn't let the kids set that. You set that as the father of the household. No more spankings. We're going to now talk about this. And I remember that because I'm a dad who spanks. Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you said that, I said, okay, I no longer need to spank. I need to have a conversation with my kids, because I started going back into my own history of when I would get spanked. And I was like, 90% of the time, I didn't even know why I was getting spanked. Mm-hmm. So that there was no reason for it, but it took your words to open up that door for me. And now it's conversations. Mm-hmm. Now, and so just FYI, you probably didn't even know that conversation shifted my entire family and the way I discipline my daughters, but it did. Yeah. Wow. Okay. It's funny. So there's a point where you getting in the room allows you to listen to people that you don't even know will change your life and change the way that you decide to live, because you're not getting in the room. Okay. You need to get to Mighty Men in the Morning. You need to get to Wednesday night relationship night, right? You need to get inside of Elevate so you can meet couples. Like, every couple that you've met so far is a couple that has impacted my personal life at Elevate Life Church. That's true. That's the power of getting in the room.
And I think that makes it even more, like you guys talked about being on the team. It makes your couple part of a team. Like, we're now teams of couples working towards the same goals, working towards the same legacies of, I know my decisions have a ripple effect. So it's stopping with me, or it's starting with me, because I want that ripple effect in my kids. Yes. I want my kids to act like this
100%.
And not like this. So I need to stop doing that or start doing that.
So fun fact for Nick. Thank you for sharing that story, Nick, and what change you made in your household. It gets funner, buddy, because I as they get smarter than us, then the conversations get more intense, buddy. So then you go like, oh, maybe a spanking on me would work. Because they only get smarter than us, you know. It doesn't get any better, buddy. You know?
Will you please spank me, because I don't want to have that conversation.
Do not put that in the comments. Do not put. If you put "please spank me" in the comments, that's not going to be taken the right way on social media.
It might go viral. Actually.
Oh, that is
So
great.
funny.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's funny because not only is this conversation, but your kids, you realize how smart they are, right? When they start asking the questions why, when they start showing, I mean, my goodness gracious, my 6-year-old knows how to use an iPad and an iPhone almost as well as I do.
Yeah.
That new technology that comes out, she's going to get better than me at some of this technology, and I know it, right? So, oh my goodness. Y'all should okay, so after this episode, you're going to hop in the comments. They're pretty funny. Okay. So let's go down this road real quick. You have principles. Principles will make a good marriage, whether you have Christ in it or not. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Doesn't matter if you're what's the other one? If you're not religious, you're an atheist, right? It's the principles, right? But when you add Jesus to those principles, it's like strapping a supercharger to a V8 engine.
Yeah.
And look out, here we go.
Yes.
Right? So I love it. That's absolute greatness.
So now let me
Nolan, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
So let me say a quick something on that, Nick. Some people that might be watching might say, why? What does Jesus have to do too much to it? So this is the big difference. The principles give you the benefits, like I talked about. But if you don't have Jesus in the mix, you can still have reactions to situations that might not be Jesus-like, will trigger then problems, divorce, separation, all kinds of different things that we go into. But when you have Jesus in the mix, you know how to respond to every situation now with love, with Jesus, with patience, with caring, with tenderness. And that's the big difference, Nick, because Jesus is the key for all of those fruits of the Spirit, pretty much, when it comes to it.
It's almost like having an accountability partner. Right? It's having that double check. It's having that. It's choosing. It's a choice.
It is.
It's a choice.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all keep talking. I totally messed up the cameras this time.
Yeah. So
I would like to add something to
go ahead.
that. Like for instance, in my experience, I used to be a fighter in my marriage. I used to like to fight a lot, and so it doesn't look like, but I was.
Mike Tyson with me.
And so
I can see a little spice in you. Yeah, a little spice.
So it was not until I accepted Jesus in my heart, then I decided to become better, and that helped me. That's when I understood that I needed to be better for myself, because like Nick mentioned, it's like having a accountability partner, but when you understand, then you wanted to become better for yourself, and then that's when you stop doing those things that are not good for your marriage, like fighting.
Yeah, and so Claudia brought that up. I didn't want to throw it under the bus, right? But she was the fighter.
Yes.
Claudia was the fighter. Like I said, it wasn't like we fight.
Okay, so hold on a second. Hold on. I'm gonna put a pause in this real quick. When you say fight, like in Spanish.
La peleonera.
I don't even know what she said, but it sounded ferocious.
Yeah. So and I'll clarify this. It wasn't like fighter like we fought. It was like
You
she
had
would
sticks
get
to your face.
No. She was like in our entire 23 years, we've never yelled at each other. We've never said bad words to each other.
Wow.
The tongue has always been tamed on that end.
Okay.
The
Thank you,
fight.
Jesus.
Yes, praise God. So the reason I say fighter is because the way she grew up, it was, I don't like something you said, let's argue about it. You know what I'm saying? Or I didn't like the way you looked at me, let's argue about it. And that's why I brought the Jesus topic onto. Once we got Jesus in the mix, for her everything changed. So for our marriage, everything elevated, because I always, since day one, because I knew Jesus and because I knew not only the principles but what blessings it came with the behavior with Jesus, I would always be the one calming things down, fixing the problem, listening, being patient, being caring, even without us mutually being on board with Jesus. I always did my part. And I'll tell you this, Nick, and I'll tell everybody, all the guys out there, a lot of times we blame our wife because she's the fighter, but the wife is not the head of the house. Guys, man, you are the main guy. You are the chief in the house. Therefore, it's your job to humble down. It's your job to be caring, to be respectful. To even if your wife is being a little nutty, a little crazy, just let her do women thing. You know, that's what women do. You know, and you mellow down, take charge by being patient, by holding your tongue, by not fighting back. Because we can yell louder than women sometimes, you know. But that's not the point here. The point is who can actually be the one to take ownership of the relationship and say, I'm the lead, therefore I decide to lead us into love, not into fight.
Ooh, that's good.
That is good.
That's
so
good.
that made me. I had a flashback of my first years of marriage, when I would be like, let's get into it. Like, let's have a heated discussion. Let's talk about it.
That's what hurt. That's what Claudia was like. Why are you not fighting?
Like,
you know,
Dustin's just sitting there, like, okay, I hear you.
I hear you.
Let's talk about this. And I'm like, no, let's talk about this. Like, let's talk.
She is stomping
like,
her foot.
He wouldn't fight back.
flashback.
But how many times does that happen though, right? Where the emotions start to erupt, and yes, guys are normally louder. I've met some loud women. I don't know if I'd even be able to beat them in a yelling match. Okay, but guys are 95% of the time they're the stronger one.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're more likely to get physical. Okay. So by you not being the leader of your household, by keeping your emotions in check, you may make an action. You may say a word. You may do something that you cannot take back.
100%. Now, Nick, you said something very key. Most of the time, we are the stronger one. And the easiest thing to do is to overpower our woman.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't we do the hardest part and do it without the strength involved?
Which is the harder option.
Yes,
absolutely.
Because that's what we should do.
Absolutely.
You know? And because we just go to the easiest because, you want to yell? I yell louder.
Right.
You want to arm wrestle? I'm stronger. And
right.
That's not what we do with our women because they are less strong than us.
Sure.
You know, we take care of them, you know.
But that's now me. Or that as an individual, I'm now not going to my easy or the default, because at that point in time, I'm coming at you, right? Instead, I need to make sure I keep myself in check, and I need to take that strength, and I need to take that voice, and I need to turn it back into inside myself and go, okay, here we go, right? I hear you, and here we go, right? How important is that to say, I hear you. I may not agree with you.
Yes, and it's so hard to say that, like when you don't agree with it, but you need to say, I hear you.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Why don't you go for a walk for a little bit? Let's de-escalate the situation. Let's have a conversation about this. And granted, you people who know me know how loud I am. You know that me as a guy, yes, I can get very emotionally involved in things. Okay, that's part of the visionary, and just that's a Nick thing. So for me, I'm not talking always to you about this. I'm talking to myself, right? As the leader of my household with 3 daughters who sometimes all decide to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at one time, right?
And a wife. And 2 girl dogs. Like, you are surrounded.
Right? How do I make sure that, okay, if everyone is, you want to know what? That actually happened this weekend. Everyone in the household started going negative. And I was like, And I did not. I did use my voice. I said, enough. Enough. We're not going down this road. I'm not going to have this happen. So we're going to get back into, and we're going to get back into the happy mode. We're going to come back on track. But so did I use my voice a little bit to kind of reset the situation? Yes.
The important question, did you feed everyone?
Well, come to find out. No. Here we go, right? Because we talk about that. A lot of times when people start getting angry, they're either hungry or tired. Like it's a default. And come to find out, all I had to do was feed everyone. And magically, my London came back to life. Isla came back to life. Amber came back to life. Like everyone came back to life in a positive way.
And Sydney took a nap.
Goodness gracious, right? But 5 years ago, it wouldn't have been my loud voice. It would have been my yelling voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've gotten to loud, and I'm working my way back to where I can go, everyone seems to be angry right now.
Let's have a snack.
Let's take that deep breath and get to the point where I can talk.
Yes.
Right. So as a guy, I understand if you're like, well, you want to know what? I maybe have to use my voice or maybe that's where I'm at. Great. As you mature in yourself, you'll be able to take your voice and start to turn it down because you are now controlling more of your own emotions. You're now controlling more of yourself.
I think it's important, like adding to that, Nick, you can't get to that spot in those conversations where you can have a conversation without escalating it unless you are in alignment.
Ooh, right?
Like you yourself have to be in alignment. You have to be filled with Jesus. You have to be right inside of you before you can say, I'm not going to respond to this, or I'm not going to react to this.
I'm not going to react.
Respond.
There you go.
So,
But there's principles, right? There's principles.
Right.
You don't have to have Jesus to have those principles.
no,
But having Jesus helps you implement those principles.
but even though I think that is a principle, being aligned within yourself, having yourself all figured out and knowing your security allows you to be secure in discussions with others.
Absolutely. I'm wanting to make sure the audience understands because I love that. There were principles that were in the relationship already, but Jesus took that and helped implement that, right? Because we're going to have viewers that aren't believers. It's there's going to be people who are going to watch this that are not, and I don't want anyone to ever use the excuse, I'm not a Christian, therefore I don't have to be good.
Yeah.
I'm not a Christian, therefore I don't have to have a great marriage, right? No. You still control you.
Yeah.
You can still implement these principles. But then when you're really ready to supercharge and elevate your marriage, then bring Jesus into that, right? It's so funny. We had 3 topics, and on this one topic, we've taken 28 minutes.
We talked about the second one. We did talk about the second one.
No. Okay. So, but it's this last one. I've been trying to move this conversation
so we
because
have
it's this
8
last one.
minutes.
Are you ready? No, maybe more. Okay. So here we go. Ready? I'm just going to read it right off the screen. And our greatest success has everything to do with closing the wrong doors. And that was all that was there. And then after they got here, they added this last part and opening the right doors.
Chills.
Right?
Did anybody else get
Right?
chills? Because I got chills.
Man, okay. Talk about closing these doors.
You want to start or you want me to start?
I guess I can start and talk a little bit about this. Yes, closing the wrong doors. Sometimes we think that what we feel is like feeling that is ours. Like in my personal experience, I used to be afraid of everything. I used to be afraid of animals, and so I strongly believe that the enemy had me for 4 years of my life, thinking that I was afraid.
40. That's 40 years.
4
guys.
years of my life, and so when we give our life to Jesus and we are ready for him to make change in us, then we get the courage to close those doors, right? So it's Jesus who gives us the strength to do that. So after praying, I was able to close the door of fear. I used to be afraid of talk, like right now, talking with people. I used to not even in English. My first language is Spanish. So I want to give a praise and honor and all the glory to God, because I was able to become free. And so I was able to close the door of fear. And when I did that, my main fear was fear to animals, to dogs. And so when I was able to close the door, all different areas in my life as individual and in my family were like impacted in the positive way. So I just want to encourage ladies to give your fears to God and ask Him to give you the strength to close those doors, because when you have those doors open, then the blessings of God don't come over us. We need to close those doors. So that's the one door that I closed, and Ricardo can talk more about that.
That is so powerful. Like the way that you phrase that, it was, I closed that door. Because I had that fear door open. A lot of people that are afraid are very, I can't do anything about it. I'm afraid. Oh no, you have the power to shut that door. You're the one choosing to allow it to stay open. That's so right. I love how you phrase that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So
powerful.
when she says afraid of animals, guys, when I met her, we were dating and we would go visit friends. They would have a little cat or a little dog, a puppy, whatever, and she would jump on the table. And I was like, at the beginning, I was like, is she kidding? But then when I found out that she was truly afraid of every single little birds, any kind of animal, I was like, okay. So I lived with that for 20 years of our marriage, knowing that she couldn't be around animals, and I was okay with it, right? When she closed that door, she found out there was so much stuff waiting for her on the other side that we didn't even expect. And just
from a fear of dogs, just from a fear of animals.
Yes. So now on my side, I tell you, we've been very intentional with where we go, what we do, who we hang with, our actions, our personal actions. And you touched on that, Nick, that we have control to say things, to do things, because we are in charge of ourselves. So one thing that I remember is when we met, I used to drink. So, and I never got like crazy drunk or whatever, but I always drank, just drinking. A lot of times every day of the week, so it wasn't like a social drink or nothing. It was like, hey, let's go drink. Okay, let's go. I was in sales and it's open credit card, so you just go drink.
Part of the job description.
Yeah. So fast forward around my 34th birthday, I stopped drinking. When I stopped, everything better, right? Everything changed for the better. But then my thing was, if we'd go on a vacation or we'd watch a fight or something, I still have a few drinks here and there, or we go overseas and I wanted to check out the local beer or the local whiskey or whatever it was. So I was still having a few here and there. Well, when I decided a couple of years ago, you know what, moving forward for the rest of my life, my lips will not touch a drop of alcohol. Not one beer, not one drink, no nothing. And I gave it to God and I said, I just truly want to be the best I can be on any area that I can control, because that area I could control. Nobody was forcing me to drink a beer on the weekend. So when I did that, guys, without expecting it, a lot of things, great things, even better things started happening to our family, to our lives, to our marriage, to the relationship with our kids, to everything, business.
You can pinpoint it to that decision.
100%. It was overnight, and I was like, whoa. So you talk about doors. That's exactly what it is. And I talked to some of our couples, at church. We're blessed to be marriage mentors at Wednesdays. So we talk to our couples once in a while about this, and we say, because of our actions, we're literally opening up a window or a door to let the enemy in and sit on our couch.
Yes.
And sit in our bed, you know, sit in our kitchen table. That's what we're doing pretty much. So by me figuring out, okay, if this little one beer, 2 beers a weekend, it's the little window, little door that I'm opening up every time for him to come and sit at my table, I'm shutting it down, I'm locking it, and I'm never, ever in the rest of my life gonna open it. So that impacted tons of stuff.
Interesting.
So
I just got really sad because while he's talking, like soda came to my mind. I'm like, I really enjoy soda. Why? Why? I really enjoy soda. Why?
But here we go, right? Like that was something that you got prompted and you made that decision.
Yep.
And now years later, you can actually tie success, you can tie family, you can tie positive
Yes.
to shutting that door.
Now, the biggest thing, guys, my kids, they were like, Dad, but you don't drink. And even them knowing, they saw it as, but you don't drink. And I said, yeah, but no, but you really enjoy having a rare beer because you want to try it and whatever. I know I enjoy it. That's why I'm shutting it down. So to both of them, especially Renzo, it was like, just like that? And I said, just like that for the rest of my life. So that impacted them so much to know you can make a decision. You don't have to be the typical, I'm struggling with this. I'm working on this. Are you kidding me?
Are you talking to me right now?
So check this out, guys. And we talk about this, the four of us at our household, a lot because we don't believe in I'm working on it. We don't believe in I'm struggling with it. When you struggle with something for more than a few times, then you're making a lifestyle out of your struggle. You're actually enjoying it, you know, and it hurts, but that's the truth, guys, because if it's a struggle, you need
Can
to
you
throw
say
it out the
that
window.
again? I gotta write that down.
Yes.
Write that down.
I'm saying it's if you're struggling with something for more than a few times, now you're making a lifestyle out of it, and you're actually enjoying it, you know, because there is a story about a dog that would sit on a porch and cry all day, and the owner would go out and check on it, and he was sitting on a nail, and the owner would pull the dog out of the nail, and the dog will slide again and put himself against the nail and would keep crying again. You know, when he knew all he had to do is move, because the owner had already moved it, the dog would go against the nail again to just keep crying and whining, you know. And a lot of times, all we need to do is get off the nail. But we choose to just keep struggling with it or keep working on it because we might be enjoying it too much.
We're probably gonna have a discussion about this later, y'all.
Oh no. Like this is not only did I have a list of people run through my head with this with the struggles that I know they're working on, okay? I just got myself called out. Like I just was like, oh, this is something like but here we go, right? Sometimes I define myself by that struggle. Okay. Maybe I'm not willing to shut that door because now I've defined, oh, this is how people.
It's been a part of you for so long.
Yes.
Who am I without it?
Yeah.
So, do you remember our conversation last week?
I do. That.
Oh my goodness, right? And you don't get to know about it. Not yet. Not yet. And here's why. I haven't figured out the ending, so I don't know how to share it. Okay? But this, how many people do, like I'm just like Rolodex through my head, right? Of this is the person, this is their struggle, or this is the person, and this is how they define themselves, and it's
for years,
for years.
And I'm telling you, so we talked about alignments as well, and being marriage mentors, having the blessing of being marriage mentors, which, by the way, we truly love and appreciate every single couple out there that trusts us with their life, that allows us to do life with them, because that's one of our passions, couples, But one thing, Nick, is that when you're around us and you want to be around our circle, you're not going to struggle too long because we're going to call you out. And I'll tell you what, we've had right now where, we're proud to say we got the largest tables in Elevate, for couples. We got 3 tables,
I believe that.
And one, and another one that David and Crystal run, and they got 2 tables down.
There you go.
And so we actually have like 5 tables, if you will. But the beautiful part of this is all of those couples trust us and allow us to be in their life so we can call them out. Because we notice the people that want to keep struggling or that want to keep working on their thing, they leave. They walk away. They never come back. And if it's not their season, we're okay with it. But whenever they're willing to grow and to be better for each other and for God, they stick around and they start seeing those benefits quickly because of the call-outs.
But here we go, right? Let's define this to make sure the audience gets this. When we say call out, I'm not calling you out to make myself feel better.
100%.
I'm calling out because I love you.
Yes.
It's not even calling out; it's speaking truth in love.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I'm seeing this in you. I, as a leader, am letting you know about this, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to succeed. I want you to be better. Okay, those are the people that you want in your life. You want people who will look at you in the eye and go, "Listen, I see potential in you. I see greatness in you." Okay, but for you to reach this level of greatness, there's a couple things that I need you to work on,
And then it's your choice.
and then it's your choice to work on. But here we go. Right, when you choose, I'm going to work on this with you. Right? I'm going to be here. I understand it's a struggle. Let's get rid of the struggle. Okay? Because as long as you're focused on the struggle, you're missing out on this greatness.
That's right.
As long as you're focused on the pain and the woe is me, you're missing out on friends and family. As long as you're focused on this over here we go. You ready for this? Massive surprise here. You get 1 life. 1. Every minute that you're stuck over here, focused on the negative, you're missing out on blessings. And guess what? You'd never get that time back. Never.
So Taylor quoted something that Claudia said again, and it's, fear is the thief of joy. Fear robs you of the opportunity. So if you're afraid of what you are going to be without that struggle, you're robbing yourself and your family of something greater.
Yes.
Oh, you want to know what? There we go, right? Because I say this. When you don't value your time, you're stealing from your family. And what you just said was perfect. When you're not focused on the blessings, you're stealing blessings from your family. You are changing, as what y'all have said. You're stopping that blessing from coming into your family, which then can go to your kids and your grandkids and so on.
Yes.
Stop it. Just stop it. And if you're like, well, Nick, okay, here, you want to what? Wednesday nights, right?
Wednesday
nights. Wednesday nights. If you're like, Nick,
not at our table though, because it's full already.
but there's
Sunday,
great
come talk to
mentors.
them.
Absolutely.
Talk to them on Sunday.
If you're like, yes, but I need a couple like the Glorias to speak to my life. Yes, come sit at the table. And if you don't resonate with them, right? There's other marriage tables that they're mentoring.
Yes.
You
Okay.
don't always have to sit at the table. You just have to be in the room. You can sit behind them. We're just gonna put rows behind your table so everybody
So let
can
me
listen.
let me clarify that. You can sit at our table if you show up like at 6:30 instead of 7, because we have a rule. There is, I think we got a max of like 15 couples at the tables, because that's all we can fit, right? And there was a time where we had 2 rows, people behind them. They didn't want to go anywhere else. So what we're doing now is like, for everybody that shows up on time, you get a seat at the table. Everybody
And
else
on time means early.
yeah. And everybody else goes to overflow. So if you want to come and sit at our table, you're more than welcome. Just show up early and you'll have a seat, and
Yes.
everybody else just goes to overflow.
But we
So-
want you to know that there's others great marriage
yes.
mentors there.
Yes.
So any table you'll sit, you're gonna be blessed.
Including the Gregories.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Right?
there's great options there. So
And I'll take advantage of this, Nick, real quick.
Yeah.
If you're not married, you can come too, because
Oh, I didn't know that.
We're
Oh,
big.
yes.
We're big on this. If you're dating and you're like, yeah, but I'm not married. Even if you say, yeah, but we've been living together and we don't feel right because we're not married, still come.
Yes.
We have a big praise report. We have had 6 couples that weren't married when they started coming with
Yeah.
us. 3 of them have already got married, and 2 of them will get married, or I get the other 3 might get married this year. So that's a big plus right there. You don't have to be married. Just show up and make your relationship better.
Goodness gracious, Amber, I wonder where our relationship would be, because Amber and I dated for 3 years. Imagine if you had gotten in the room with a couple like y'all, right, the Glorias, or being able to sit at a table with like Gary Gregory for while you're dating,
Yes.
right? Where you would be, where you would jumpstart your marriage to the day you got married. At the end of the day, get in the room.
Yeah.
Get in the room. Okay? You've watched today's episode. 1, thank y'all for being in the comments. We love that. 2, thank you for guys for liking the video. That's how we know to pray for you, okay? But you're going to hear this time after time after time. Get in the room. There's so much greatness out there. And if you're like, Nick, I don't know. Trust me on this. Get in the room. It will change your life. And I'm not talking like some like overarching movie thing where you go into one session and your life's completely changed around. No, you have to get in the room the first time, and the second time, the third time, and you have to get consistent with it. But just get in the room the first time, and magically you'll start making those connections, and you'll want to be in the room, and therefore you will start making it a priority. So,
because the truth is, there is someone that doesn't want you in the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's the creator of fear.
That's
so
right.
just, shut that door.
Yes.
Shut that
and
door.
Get in the room.
There
Yes.
you go. So thank you guys for tuning in today. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Make sure that you have your big 3. It's Wednesday. Where are you on your big 3? Make sure you're at least getting to your second one, if not finishing it up. Again, it's a short week. If you have kids, they're out of school on Friday. Okay. And I want you, as a parent to parent, I want you to spend time with your family. So get it done. Get it done. Take Friday, spend it with your family. The kids need it. Your spouse needs your time. Okay. Again, you don't get time back. You can work yourself into the ground and miss out on the blessings of your family. So, thank you guys for being in the comments. Thank you guys for the likes. The Glorias will be getting into the comments and reading those and responding to those. We're going to be dropping their links so you can connect with them. But today is Wednesday. It's hump day, right? And if you do go to Elevate Live, I believe we do have a guest speaker, right?
Dr. Robbie
Dr.
tonight.
Robbie, yes.
Everybody's welcome
Yep.
tonight.
So Dr. Robbie's going to be
Yeah.
there. It's also going to be broadcasted online. So you do have options, but get in the room. Get in the room. Know that we love you. We appreciate you. And make sure that you
Rise up.
and crush it. Bye, y'all.
Bye.